Steps of Forensic Science by Summer Conger. Step 1. Photograph the scene. Not only is it useful for investigators to preserve the scene through pictures, these pictures are also brought up in the cases that go to trial. Taking as many pictures, usually around 400 or so, of the crime scene can help everyone involved get a clear picture of the scene, even if they are not there. Usually, daylight is the best lighting to take the pictures in, but if you just have a clear source of lighting, you're fine. Step 2. Collect physical evidence. Collecting the blood or other fluids is very important when investigating. Blood, for instance, due to valuable information it contains, is considered to be one of the most important forensic tools. It is very important to determine the sequence of events during the commitment of a crime involving blood, and when tested, it can match DNA to the criminal. Also, collecting the murder weapon, as seen right here, can connect DNA to the criminal by using skin cells or fingerprints or any other fluids or hair or anything that they left behind. And swabbing the blood and swabbing the entry wound can also help identify the criminal, how far away it happened from, like what time. Blood is so useful because after a certain period of time it dries up, so you have a time frame. So, that helps you a lot. Step 3. Analyze the data. There are many steps to this part, but usually it starts off with fingerprints and impressions. Usually you look at like tire impressions and footwear impressions and finger impressions to see who the criminal was, what they were driving, what shoes they were wearing, all to help identify who committed the crime. If you're testing the fingerprints, you usually run them through Automated Fingerprint Identification System, or AFIS, which is utilized by the FBI database, and you compare against hundreds of millions of prints. And then you can trace evidence by running the GSR analysis, which is gunshot residue analysis, to identify and compare samples of soil, glass fibers, and paint. And then you add chemistry into the situation, and you conduct analysis and comparison of illicit drugs, explosives, and unknown chemicals. Next, with technology, you can use computer crimes, like you recover evidence from computers or perform computer enhancement on audio or video evidence. Next, you can look for like firearm and tool mark identifications. You can test the firearms to establish barrel pattern and distance of gun from interest wound. Identify and compare bullets, casings, and tool mark impressions. Next, serology and DNA. Conduct body fluid analysis, including DNA analysis for bloodstains, semen, and hair for identification and comparison. Lastly, question documents. Detect forgery, alterations, conduct handwriting comparisons, reconstruct destroyed documents, identify and compare printers, typewriters, or copiers used to produce a document. All in all, basically, the steps are very simple. Photograph the scene, get evidence, analyze the evidence. Take a trial if you need to, all that. But, the same 3 steps show up in mostly every single case. So those are, the main steps in being a forensic scientist during an investigation. But, yep, the end.